Hi, everybody, and thank you for resisting still after some presentation. So, I'm Esteve Rodriguez, head of data projects in Sevilla FC, but either part of the technological committee of the club. Okay. As background, I'm a multimedia engineer, so software engineer. Why I say that? Because this presentation is a little bit technical. But I will try to keep it simple, okay? If not, just shout, say stop, and explain the things a little bit slower. So, data and technology in a football club. For us, as football club, as Sevilla, it's really important, the technological innovation, okay? We put a lot of focus in technology and innovation. Either data as a key of the pillars. Why? Because we are not Barcelona, we are not Madrid, so we need to be different in some way. And we are different in innovation. Okay? And datification. I explained it before. We will talk about technical stuff. But what is for us datification? Datification for us is a revolution. Is like the fourth industrial revolution. It impacts its focus on data, information, and artificial intelligence to optimize the productivity in all business and industries. Okay? And if we put the view on a club, the club has a lot of different return lines, business lines, okay? We are talking a lot of football players, winning the matches, selling the players, but we should not forget that we sell merchandising, we sell t-shirts, we have sponsors, so we have fans. All that are business lines that we can optimize and we can work on. What is the mission of the club? Optimization of the efficiency of these lines, of all these business lines, putting the focus on knowledge that we create and functionalities that we create. Everything, or I will explain everything based on data and technology. Simple thing of how we are thinking to achieve this optimization. We go from data to action, okay? Base action in what can we do to improve, what can we do to sell more, what can we do to sell better. But first, we have the data, we have a lot of information, we have to describe this. So we need to know what happened in the past. When we know what happened, we can go to the diagnostic or analyze. Why did this happen? There, as putting, so it comes the part of engineering, science, and then it comes the new era or the future, as a lot of people say, predictive part. What will happen? If I know what was happening the last times, why it happened, I can make predictive models, machine learning, use machine learning to see what will happen. For what? What should be done? I know what will happen. I know who will make this action. So which is the future or the near future? I can make a prescriptive action to make some optimization. Okay, a lot of theory. I will put more examples, detailed examples, how we achieve this. Another way to express this: collection, description, prediction, action. For what? To win more money. Everything at the end is we need more money. We need to be more efficient. Perfect. What are we interested in? We collect data acquisition, describe. So we sort all this information with different tools, and so prediction. There it comes a little bit more engineering, technology, because we use different prognostic, artificial intelligence, and that. And what to do? Okay, for what to do, we make different connectors. We show the information in some way, or we connect all these activities to tools for the marketing department, for example, to make better campaigns, to make automated campaigns. At the end, for what? With these campaigns, is increase the customer base, increase the customer development, have high-valued products. Why high-valued products? We can sell them for more money. Why more customers? We have more to sell. And that was the theory, let's say. But how did Sevilla Football Club achieve this? We achieved to be at this point through the data department. Data department is quite new. I put when we started, what was 3 years ago, three and some months. And it started with 4 people, but now we are 9. So year to year, we grow and we grow and we grow. So I hope that that's a point that show that we are doing something good. Okay, at least that's how I tell them that my salary should be there every month. The difference from other data departments, we are all engineers, we are data scientists, DevOps, we are all technical people. We divided in the club everything what has to do with data and everything what has to do with sports analyze. We try to be a really transversal team to give support to all the other departments, not only sports. As I say, we don't center our focus in sports. We make optimizations for all the departments. You can see our photo. We are a little techie, every one of us. But we like football. Must say, no, because techie football is sometimes not related. But at least most of we like football. Is a passion. Functionalities. I say, I could invest an hour to explain this. So just have a look. I try to explain. Extraction, storage, transformation, orchestration, disponibility. What do? We take all the information that we can from external sources, everything what is external sources there, external data here, internal data here. We gather all the information that we can from providers, from our different departments, everything that we can, we storage it, so we have our own storage, and process this data. Why? Because sometimes we put only the focus on, I put some provider, Y-Scout, as example, was, I think everybody knows it. We use Y-Scout, but perhaps this data, if we mix it with another provider, and if we mix it with climatology, we could have a better prediction what will happen on the match. So that's why we storage everything, orchestrate all this information with all our technical stuff for what's the end? To make it disponible, to make it reachable and accessible for the departments, for the decisors, for the people that needs to work with information. They don't need to work with a lot of Excel files, a lot of PDFs. What we try is that they got to their BIs, that they go to these applications and work in an easier way, a more user-friendly way. So now that's a really good point, because talking with other teams, what we encounter, what we find is that they all need providers. They all need to go to consultancy. They go to external sources to build their BIs, to build their knowledge. We tried some different approach. We wanted flexibility. We wanted to build everything from our own. We wanted this ability to make things for ourselves and to optimize our lines of business. Why? Because if we work with outside consultancies, you have to explain a lot. We are on the team, we are on the club, we know each line, we are in a step to the other department, to the responsible people, so we can build everything for our own. And as Alberto says, it's at the end it's less cost, because we don't invest so much time. We can do the things for ourselves. Products. So we built a lot of products, internal products, the most of them. I put an example of an external product that is Transfer Tracker. Only as a line, Transfer Tracker was a product that we built in 6 months, less, 3-6 months, that we use internally, that it gives, after these 6 months, it gave us a lot of revenue. So I was telling, it paid our department for a year, so to say, only with the result of the first proof of concept. And we talked with the Liga, because it's a project that it's really transversal for all the clubs. It has no knowledge from ourselves as club. It's transversal for all the clubs. So we talked with La Liga. In this time, it was La Liga Tech, now Sportian, to sell the product together. And it's a product that is being sold internationally. Okay, a lot of clubs can have it, and the knowledge base is the technical knowledge base is from ourselves. The rest of projects, I will make a few cases where I explain 2 of them, but all of them are built from ourselves. 2 focuses: making data available through web apps. As I say, being really easy to access this data and to work and take decisions from this data, and making data available for BI. Here it's a point of the experience. After all the years, we started developing web applications, but we found that it's really hard to maintain. So we put the focus now on the other part, making data available for BI. Why? Because you will see, I think, in the next, no, I go to the next, you will see that making web applications, you had to maintain them, you need a more skilled team, more people, and with the top part, you need less people, and it's easier for the rest of the club to reach this data. Okay, that's something that we learned with effort after 2 years. I think it's something that could be a really good example of learning from bad things and things that you don't have to do. That's only to scare you. A lot of technologies, here's only a part of them. Why we use these technologies. As you see, there are a lot of logos. Every technology can do something. We need to be really skilled to combine them and to take the most profit of them. Okay, that's why our team, we are only 9 for a company. As a data team in a company, 9 people is really low. But in Spain, we are one of the biggest departments, data departments in whole Spain. Okay. Important thing, we are 9, but we are not alone. We search always for partnerships with big companies, with universities, with small companies, with Zurich, for example, as university, and with other international team as Bengaluru United, either with Liga, Sportian. So we always search to share and to get knowledge from the other parts. So, because alone we cannot achieve everything. We are too less people to achieve so many things. Timeline, and what not to go in detail, but what I want to exemplify here is that our first application, iFootball, I will explain it a little bit later what it is, but it's a web application, and it started outside the club. It started as a co-creation with a German company, and after 2 years, so in the middle of the pandemic, the application was at a point to be used for the club, and Sevilla recognized that it has so much power to have such ability inside the club that decided to build the data department. So I was part of this co-creation. It was a co-creation that it came in with my CDO, Elias Zamora, and me. We started creating iFootball from Germany, and after the 2 years, we went to Sevilla and built the team with only 4 people. So as you see, what I wanted to exemplify is that like from the beginning, this till middle of or end of 2022, we have done things, but not so much in terms of just one there in the middle of the year, at the beginning, something at the middle. But if you see the progress for this, the previous year, the last part of 2023 and 2024, so this last part, it has a lot, we have done a lot, or we have delivered a lot of projects, a lot of products. Why? Because we changed the mind. We changed from web applications to BI environment. So we were focused on getting more data, process this data, and allowing the people through BI to access them. So we changed the speed totally, we increased it, and we are able now to develop more quick and more efficient. And now it comes the more practical thing. I want to tell you two cases that we have, two projects that we have built, one for the BI part, and the other one is for the more web application, but either collaboration with big companies. Okay? I hope that till now, the technical part is ready. iTicketing. iTicketing is the project that we have for the match day. Data for the match day is where we get all the information from the attendants, the people that comes to the stadium. We check when they come, how they behave, to make better strategies for the future in terms of how we can sell the tickets. If we have some, how it's called, session, so our members, our seasonal tickets, if we know that they don't come, we tell them to sell the ticket to other one, so the ticket get not lost. And the stadium, it's not empty. The stadium is always full. We use it either for dynamic pricing to know when the tickets are sold, at which price, and to see if we can improve there. So with all this information in BI, we open a lot of different business lines. We open a lot of possibilities for a ticketing area. As said, it's not the last part, it's not web application, it's data available for BI. How we achieve this? There are a lot of points, so we started with the extraction part. As said, we get the focus, data is all around, but we need to know how to combine it. In this case, we have ABET. ABET is the database from LALIGA, where we have all the attendance, all the information from the tickets, the information for our members, but we mix it with the climatology. Sevilla is a really hot city in summer, so you need to know, and either, so when it rains, the people doesn't want to go to the street, doesn't want to go out, so we need to know either how the weather is, which is the prediction for this day, to know what will happen. Sports, either it's not the same to have a derby with Betis, or to play with Barcelona, than to play with another teams. So we need to know which is the relevance of the match, where we are at the competition, either. So we need to get all this information. We like always to have information from our fan itself. So which is his name, where does he live, if he's near from the stadium, if he's more far from the stadium, all this information is the one that we use for this description and prediction. And either if it's a weekend, not, if it's a local holiday or not. So we need all this information to start working. So the first point is to extract them, connect to all these, search for the sources, connect to them, and store. After storing, after retrieving all this information, we have to clean. Perhaps this is more detailed, so I will go through, but the data is not always clean. Okay, sometimes the city is, or the address, it's a bad one. The telephone numbers, emails, they are not good. Data, someone read the day in a format, the others put the month before and the day after, so we need to clean all this data to start working. And after that, it comes a more interesting part that is process. Well, interesting for me, sorry. I don't know for the rest, but it's interesting because you have to process the data, treat it, and then you can store it. But so you go from a huge, just imagine it's like a huge Excel file with millions of lines, and after that, you can put it in some destination that can be overworked, not to be an ugly Excel, but a beautiful let's say PowerPoint, a beautiful dashboard. Modeling, either interesting. You have to know about data, so that's why we have data scientists. They know how to prepare all this data in models to be overworked, so to put information in the right way to work with it. So it's not, as in the example, it's not an Excel file with a lot of lines. We put all the information. So we built a match model, a match encapsulation with all this information, and we built a member information to be able either to check for the match or for the member, or to cross the information but in the right way. And why? Because without this model, we cannot make predictions. So we need really established and good defined models to start with all the automatization and machine learning processes, and so. Because after this machine learning, we build the predictions, we join with the business rules that we want to implement, and then we can go to the action part. Don't be scared at the type of modeling. So there are two parts. We use machine learning. Machine learning needs a model. Power BI, business intelligence dashboards, need another model. So that's why we do all this ugly work to let the deciders see something like this. Okay? We went from all these schemas, all these data extractions, modeling, treatment, to something like this. Okay? Just an example, with all this information, we describe what is happening in the match. We describe how is the behavior of our members. We can make a really deep analysis if our stadium is being fulfilled, entering in the right order, if the doors are not collapsed. To know, I put either from this tool, we make an analyze, a flow attendance analyze, to know if we have to open the doors 2 hours or 1 hour before. So we check every time at the match, and we see, okay, the last matches were like this. Why not to open the door, the gates 1 hour, only 1 hour after the match, and we spare this other hour from security people, from all the catering people, and so on. So that's a huge earning only with some dashboards. I think that was easy, and this case is the web application one. I don't know if I go too quick, so just stop me if you have some question. Scout Advisor. Scout Advisor starts a little bit different, okay? We were working in all the scout information from the past, and it's a web application. So it comes in the last part of last year, so during April it started, and we decided to make a web application. Why? Because we joined another companies. But at the beginning, so it starts with iFootball and iScouting. So it has either an evolution. In the club, we wanted to know which players can be part of Sevilla. This iFootball iFootball is the first application that the data department entered in the club. So that was created for the club. And it's a web application based on objective and subjective performance data. To clarify, what is objective data for us? Objective data is how many passes a player does, how many goals, how many minutes it plays, in which team it was, all the data that you can really measure. Subjective data or subjective performance data is the scouting part. So all of the information that we get from our scouts is some information that you can not really measure because it's human written, so to say, is human created. And we try to mix both. For what? To construct our first team squad, to be able to track the players we want, and let's say the romantic story tells that it's like what Monchi had. Monchi was our sports director, really famous for his characterization of players, and it's like building all the knowledge that Monchi has, or trying to build it in an application, not to lose what he has in his mind, to keep all this knowledge in the club. For this was iFootball created. Data that we have there, I say, objective data, all the personal data, financial information, the competitions that are being played, all the players from the different competitions, aggregated data as the temporal eventing data, kinematics, all the physics data either, and scouting. Okay. After that, when we had all the different sources that were unique, we created for ourselves some measures. Okay, like what we told them, game principles. I can make an example. This is like our FIFA score. Okay, it's our player from 0 to 100. It's not like this, but just to make an example, is how we characterize with only one number the player. And either we put some more knowledge using machine learning to make similarity of the players, to make compatibility. So to be able, with this tool, to find the perfect squad for our team. Web application, a lot of filters, really powerful. You can search for players with a lot of filtering, the talent filtering, to know how many minutes he plays, how he performs in the matches, in which positions he played, and either you can add some scouting valorations, scouting points. In our case, it's like A, B, C, D. It's like 1 to 5, let's to say. So we know that the 1 is the best. We put the filtering, search me for these players that complain to these filters. And we have a list that we can follow. We can take more information from these players and look at it and make more reports for the direction area. Scouting data, the same. Once we have a player, we can check for all this data. This data is based on all our scouting reports. And there is where Scout Advisor enters. Scouting data. Scouting data is an internal source. Scouting data, it's a really valuable source because Sevilla either is known for their scouts. We have a really huge knowledge in scouting. Okay, but it's an expensive knowledge because there are a lot of people watching matches, live and not live matches and video matches, writing reports. We have nowadays, this number is already old, but we will get over 250,000 reports. So it's a lot of information. But I say, that's subjective information. Which is the problem with this information? That the only structured information is the player, if we want to evaluate them, but there is a subjective way, because it's a person that is evaluating it, so we have to trust. And if we have 10 scouts, each scout can give a different valuation. We have the scout who has evaluated, the match, competition, and the date. But then we have a lot of information that is more relevant, that is the non-structure, are the descriptions, is how the scout has defined this player in this match, okay? And that's really important because it can give us a lot of information that we don't have in the numbers. It gives us the information if the player is how we say it's a leader. It has a lot of game vision. It has some defensive capacities, but everything is written in natural language. Okay, that's an advantage and a problem either. A problem for the data guys. Why? I say, detailed description of the player performance, but not easy to measure, not easy to combine with other data sources. Okay, so it's valuable, but it's hard to systematize because it's written in natural language. But there we try something. Okay. We try to ask our sports, our scouting director, we try to ask him for a description, a dictionary of the terms that were used in these reports. Okay? And the answer was, I cannot make this. Because we have a number of scouts that every scout define a player in a different way. So there are not, the report has not only tags where you say it's a good player, a bad player, it's quick, it's slow. No, every scout defines it in a lot of different ways. So lack of homogeneity. That was our task then. Okay, we encounter this, we find this, so we try to develop NLP algorithms, so natural language processors, okay, to extract all these keywords automatically. I say we are not alone, so we find for help. We search for some help because we were not in a moment that we can invest a lot of time building these hard or difficult to build algorithms. Okay, so we searched for help in Sevilla University. We made an agreement with them to collaborate and develop with one of the professors they had that was an expert in natural language processing. He was an expert, so we asked him to join us and to help with this project. The result, okay, we developed some algorithms. We extract automatically all the keywords. It was nice. It was good. We had a lot of keywords. So the algorithms, all the mathematicians that was behind was really good. Can be used in different languages. But the problem, it was not really easy to use. Why? Because we have a lot of synonyms. Perhaps in English, let me try to explain it in English, because in Spanish we have, for one word, we can say this in 3-4 different ways, okay? We can say the player is quick, or we can say the player is a sprinter, we can say he sprints really good. So there are a lot of synonyms from one word. So at the end, we had this automatic keyword, this automatic dictionary, but really hard to use. It was really, really, really big. Then it came the next step, IBM. So we were lucky because, as you know, football is passion either. And we found a really passionate guy from IBM that was working with a group they call Garage. That it's a group that is built for interacting with companies, normally with big companies, but through this passion, they wanted to interact with us. And we start talking with them, making some meetings, evaluating the issue, and we tell them, okay, why not? Why don't you help us with this problem? And it was to improve this natural language processor through a systematic similarity algorithms. Okay, to explain what is this? This is the point where you just say you are quick, and in the reports, if there are 5 different synonyms, they get match. So we can find in all the reports what I'm writing. Okay, so solving the problem of non-uniformity in the football vocabulary. Either that's another point. Some of our scouts, they define the players as let's say we say delantero tank striker. But what's a tank striker? There is not a proper definition. This allows us to enrich these definitions and to be able to find in the different reports what this tank striker is. So, Sevilla and IBM. We were 2 teams. I say we were really lucky because they have a really talented team. They have a team like nearly 8 people that we join together to make a product, to make this proof of concept, to build this software application, and they are really talented and experienced. So we get all the strength for them and use together with us, with our team, to use their projects, their products. So we use Watson, that is their artificial intelligence data platform. It helped us really much to standardize the solution, because in this case, we don't build the model for ourselves. So we say if they are the leaders, one of the leaders in artificial intelligence models, why not to use them? So we get with them, use this part for what? For an idea that we will do it simple. We make it in 5 simple steps. I will explain in 5 simple steps the solution, but the main idea was to have a Google for football terms. Okay, so that I just write a football definition, and the system make the whole interpretation, search for everything that matches in our database, and give us the related players. Really high-skilled technical solution in 5 steps. We made a box to search. We get this search. Let's call it prompt. So this search in all this new era, artificial intelligence era, is called prompt. We get this prompt that normally can be written in a scout, in a football slang, and we enrich it. So we say that extremo con desparpajo is this long definition. This is the second step. Third, we convert everything to vectors. So here comes the mathematician. We have to search a way to compare the information, because text to text you need a really big dictionaries. But if you convert everything to vectors, you can match the information easier through the 4 part, through the similarity, or through the distance between these vectors. Okay, 4 part is just search from all these vectors which are more similar, and the 5 part. And this was just a little bit of luxury, just that we had IBM, so we use more of this generative artificial intelligence to build a summary. Why to build a summary? Because when you have the X players, when you have the 10 players, each player can have a lot of reports. So we use the ability that we had there to build a summary for each player. I put always the example, if our head of scout has to recommend some players, and he has 10 in his list, and he has to read from each 10 the 10 reports, he needs to read more than 100 reports in one day, normally, because it's from one day to other. But if we give him a summary, he has to read only 10. From these 10, he selects and he put the focus on the one he wants. Together, IBM, Sevilla, we build Scout Advisor. Okay? Less word, more demo. Web application. You have your web application with your list of players. You can have your own list of players, and on top you put this prompt. So you search for a player, in this case goalkeeper, with right ball to go outside. From all this list, you can check for all the players' reports. As you see, this player has at least 3 reports. We have more of them, and as said, juega cómodo. So he plays good with the foot. So it says the player go outside with the ball, so it plays good with the foot. We check for these similarities. Another example. I haven't seen it, regateador, but at the end, in all the reports, the same words appear not. So they are not the same words that I have written, but you have a definition that explains these words. So they match these definitions with a part of the text inside the report. Either a little bit more. More examples, and now we will go to the profile in 1 second. Here, sorry, but our reports are in Spanish, so it was really hard to translate all of them, but the idea is the same. With only 2 words I put, here it comes the definition that explains these 2 words that I just searched for. And as said, if I go to the profile of the player, I have not only the scouting profile, I have the summarization of all these different reports that can be underneath, either with the definition that I've searched, plus the good point is that we mix this information, so we have more data of the player, we have the market value, we have the contract data, and we can join all this information with iFootball to go to a more detailed profile of this player. So we join this subjective data with the objective data, plus all the scouting information in a human, natural search way, okay, with all the scouting slang. Really, as summarization, so we can identify the players based on text. It's, I think we are one of the only clubs that has this ability now. The most important of this is it comes from our scouting reports. Our scouts can use their terminology, but if new scouts come, they can join with their terminology and it can be understood. So they can use the application without needed to be instructed in how they have to write. Automatic summary, as explained, it optimizes the time to read all these reports and to analyze these reports. It gives the head of scouting, it gives the people more time to do their job and not to search for and not to do a job that perhaps is not so needed. Solves the problem of the systematic discrimination. So and is based on the expert opinion. So now we are not inventing, or we are not encapsulating the scouts to tell them, use this dictionary, use only these words. So we let them, that they are experts, they put, and give us, as club, the ability to use more artificial intelligence generative solutions. So now we are open to invent. So we have inside the club the capacity to build more and more and more things with with all these futuristic techniques. As said, we as data department, okay, we wanted to have the autonomy to build our own projects, to build our own products, to optimize our business lines. So we have all this combination of technology and engineering to achieve this. Our scout reports are internationally recognized. Our strategies, either with the help of Monchi, either were internationally recognized. Now we can use this internally more efficient in a more comprehensive way. We have over these 250,000 reports. We can overwork and we can treat them easier. We treat the natural language information more easy in a more easy way. That helps us to identify talent. So a lot of reports were lost, so we were not checked because it was not easy to treat with all this information. We don't lose the experts' information, and this tool developed with IBM give us a really good join with them to collaborate, to make more things, and to apply more new technologies in the generative intelligence, in the artificial intelligence generative area. So what we are winning is the last point gives us more flexibility to the first point. Another, as an example, I talk a lot about products that we build, about how it optimizes for ourselves, but at the beginning, I was talking about these business lines, at how with technology we can optimize, improve, and create new business lines. Okay, and this is one example. With this project, together with IBM, we had an impact of over nowadays, so this is from February, so now we were around 900 articles all over the world. So it's an international reach that is huge. We have an audience, so an engagement, a reach of over, I cannot read the number, 2 billion of people is huge. Is one of the best that we had in the club. And why? Because we could reach not only football people, not only entertainment and sport, we reach either technology. Joining with IBM reach entertainment people, football, and we reach technological people. So joining, we get to this huge audience. So that's really a goal for internationalization. That's a goal, a really big goal for marketing, because we see that joining with these big companies is possible. We are let's say, a small team compared with the big ones in the league, but we could achieve this. And as we always say, never surrender. So keep going. Thank you so much. Bernard?
So if anyone has questions, now is the time.
Hello, my name is Nikolai from Ludogorets. Very interesting presentation, to be honest. Really one of, not to offend anyone, but one of the best we've seen today. It's a little bit far-fetched for our reality, but in general, very interesting. For the first example that you gave, the AI ticketing, do you think that including a sociologist together with the data scientist would impact what you've been doing in the first example that you gave?
Yes, for sure. But this has two variants. So, as I told, our data department is a really technical department that tries to give solutions in a huge range of departments of the club. We have another department in the club that is the research, development, and investigation department that is more focused on all these. Well, they are more focused on innovation, technological innovation, and sport. okay? But they go to this approach either to put all this psychology, sociologist information. For us, it's really interesting. So if we can get this information and make it measurable, something that we can count, is useful. If not, we have to start inventing, like with the scout reports, some methodology, some way to interpret all this information that they can give. But I say, every source that you can get is a really valuable source.
Yeah, and for the second one, how many transfers have you been successful with after implementing the scouting system, and is it adjustable to teams with lower budgets or higher budgets? Because obviously you have lower teams, higher teams.
Transfers, but do you mean with Scout Advisor?
Yes.
The point that with Scout Advisor, you don't really look for transfer. You look for players to search or to look at. So if the transfer is done, will be a decision from the sport director at the end, or for the club itself. So, and this information is mixed with, so it helps to make this decision, but it doesn't tell you, contract this player, get this player. That's the point, that's the difference. So we give information, not decisions. That's why we let the responsible to take the decisions, but more informed. Okay?
Thank you.
Hello, hi. Thank you. Okay. Yes, hello. My name is Shirin Amin, and I represent a non-profit organization that supports sports organizations in getting funding to realize their social initiatives, sports initiatives. And majority of the funding that we are getting is through the European Commission. Of course, comparing it to the scale of your work, our budgets would be much smaller. But one of the priorities is the digitalization in sports. And when I say digitalization in sports, very often sports organizations, small sports clubs, even federations, they have a challenge to understand what they could implement further. So considering that we are here in Bulgaria and our reality is, it's far from your reality, what would you recommend us as an innovative small scale program that we would implement with a budget not more than €500,000? Something that could be impactful and necessary and helpful for any club.
That's a good question, but I don't know if I'm the guy to answer this, because it's really it really depends on the club, on the country itself. At the end, what you have to do is to talk a lot, so to have some technical guy that can understand business either, and to talk a lot with the clubs. Because you say the situation, we are far. Yes and no, because in some way you have to do the first step. And the first step in digitalization is from going out from the blackboard to a tablet. That's always a first step. Going out from not taking care of your young kids and just putting all the information in an Excel to compare with the ones that you have already information. So my recommendation is to do a first step. Ready? It's the same which step you do, but to do a first step. Because with this one, you get to another. But this is the hard point, because the easy one is to do nothing. So just first, a first step in digitalization. It's the same which one you do.
Thank you. And your product is closed. It's like only for yourself. You're not renting it out.
We can talk.
Okay.
Always, we can talk always. So the point is that Scout Advisor, in combination with IBM, and that answers the other question either. So it's opened in terms of if you have reports. So we cannot sell our reports because this is our knowledge, but we can sell the technical solution. The technical solution is built. It can be commercialized. How? Either I'm not the right person. We have to talk to the people more over than me, responsible for this. But we are willing and wishing to share this knowledge, this technological knowledge, so that every team can have something like this.
Well, I think it's very interesting. I guess you have seen the movie Moneyball. Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
It reminded me some of that. Of course, this just gives you.
That's why I look like Brad Pitt or something. Like that.
This just gives you like a pool of players where you can look at. But do you think it's going towards the future where it actually recommends you a player and put in, because, for example, before you said that in some aspects it gives them a score, like from zero, like a FIFA, for example, it gives a score. Do you think maybe in the future it could go towards directly recommending players? Of course, then there's someone who has to say yes or no. But is that the idea of the future, or just giving a pool of?
I mean, that would be really arrogant to say yes. The machine can do this and perhaps better than a human, sure. But at least, as we say, football is a passion. And there are a lot of parts that we cannot measure. So I say, we don't know if the player will be a leader. We don't know if we don't have all the information if this player could be problematic. So if the machine recommends you a player, and after having you in the team in 3 months, he makes some chaotic thing, which is the responsible? The machine or the sport director that trusts the machine? So I think that we are still not, that perhaps could be the future, but trusting all the data and all the work we do, we still prefer to give the information and to have somebody that recollect and take this decision.
Esteve, if it's not a problem to you to share with us the approximate annual budget that your department is dealing with.
I cannot really know, because we just try just to make these projects to pay our department. So the better we do, the more people we can contract. But at the end, we have 9 person full day, 9 people full day. So you can do.
Some specific budget for R&D or?
Not really. We try just to consume what we need. So in terms of technology, to reduce all our cost. But at the end, what we have is it's a cloud infrastructure, and this is on demand budget. Every month, what we consume is there. If the people that use our applications do more searches, we consume more, but at least it's not our budget, because it's a technical application under software as a service. So
thank you.
You are welcome. Yeah. Thank you so much.